What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about AMC. Give you a quick overview of some of the data points with their upcoming earnings right around the corner. Go over some expectations from that and everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So in case you do not know, AMC does have their earnings Wednesday after hours. Kind of smack dab in the middle between you have on Tuesday the elections, and then Thursday you have the whole interest rate decision. So potentially another 25 basis points coming off of the market, so that should be fairly good. In my opinion though, for full transparency, I think that's already been priced into the market, but still, beside the point, AMC's earnings is going to be a fairly big thing, and based on this, it does have -7 cents for the earnings per share, and then 1.33 billion for the revenue. Over the last 90 days, there's 2 positive and 4 negative revisions to that earnings per share. And just to give you a closer overview of that, so that earnings per share does represent 22% year-over-year growth. And even aside from that, analysts are forecasting continued double-digit growth for the foreseeable future. And 4 analysts are giving estimates for that. But aside from that though, looking at revenue, this is where you do see, for the most part, on and off, double-digit growth, continued growth for the foreseeable future up until the tail end of 2026. For this upcoming earnings, 1.3 billion is the low end, 1.38 billion is the high end, and that's based on 7 analysts. So I think in reality, it's going to be a lot of volatility. Based on this, the implied move is give or take plus or minus 8.67%. So out of every previous earnings, this is kind of the most mellow, if that makes sense. So even though it could go up or down, like give or take 10+%, it still is considered the mellowest, if that again makes sense. And I think that largely is just because of their stock price. So ultimately the stock price has been just sitting there, hasn't really done all that much. So you can kind of just see generally it's been trading between the like $4.50 or $4 range and like the 5 all the way up until July, or from July. So this is a option trader's dream. Any volatile stocks such as AMC, it's good to always do options, in my opinion, of course. And actually, while I'm on here, this is the latest analyst rating. So last one was done 13 days ago. Hold Patrick, who has a 60% success rating, so rather good stuff for that. Aside from that one, there was $3.20 sell by Citi, and $17 sell and $4 price target. So Jason, who has a 62% success rating, and Eric 61. So all in all, 6.43% upside is anticipated based on this. So I think a lot of analysts have been fairly negative on AMC due to a lot of the dilution and whatever else, but I think given the market's data as of late, consumers are out there spending the money, so there's nothing really to go against AMC for. So I think consumers' buying power is going to increase, and potentially with the 25 basis point cut coming this Thursday, depending on again what happens, you could see AMC react fairly positively. And even leading into their upcoming earnings, the Elliott Wave Technicals is pointing for a little bit higher highs to come. So the pivot point is $4.20. So for as long as AMC is above that, which right now it is, then it is anticipated to get between that 490 and 507 range. So that's just based on the technicals itself, not really encumbering their earnings. So there could be a little bit more extra boost higher as a byproduct of all that. On a side note, if you're ever looking for a lot of good information, analyst ratings, forecasts, ownership, everything under the sun, take a look at IBKR, completely free, link in the description below to that. Aside from that though, shorts. So a lot of people like to still see AMC as the mother of all short squeeze stocks. It's going to come, obviously the third run up or whatever, but 14.97% of the free flow is being shorted. Works out to be 50.26 million shares. Short score is 64.32, and then cost of our average is 0.89. So this is just known shorts. A lot of people out there are saying that there's a lot of synthetics and whatever else. That won't really be portrayed based on these numbers. And based on these numbers, I don't see AMC being a mother of all short squeeze kind of scenarios. if AMC does have fairly good earnings, a surprise, and let's say they do beat on the earnings per share, revenue, and whatever else, then yeah, you could see shorts return a little bit. And they have actually been returning, just maybe anticipating this upcoming earnings. So it was around 16% short interest to where it is now. So there is still a lot more room for them to kind of return. And so the low for this year was in January, and it was around 8%. So like I said, I think this is, there's shorts, very clear, but I don't see it being a mother of all short squeeze kind of scenario. So let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. In the short term, just watch for these support and resistance points. So with it at $4.51, it is trading between this pivot and this R1. So $4.36 is that strong support. And then the flip side, $4.59 is going to be the next strong resistance slash target. And conveniently, it kind of bounced off of that general area on Friday. So ultimately, just take note of some of these support and resistance points right here. But yeah, I think in general, historically, there is a little bit more of a run leading into AMC's earnings. But as a result of that, it usually goes down a little bit, as you can kind of tell based on this. And just to give you a further overview, going over to here, you see seasonality. November over the last 10 years does yield 1.2% in the green. December, not all that great, but January on average, again over the last 10 years, does average 51.3%. So you see this 2021 up 525%. Pretty impressive stuff. So yeah, definitely something to add to your watch list. Let me know your thoughts on AMC. Do you still believe in kind of the mother of all short squeezes, or are you believing in the fundamental business right now? So don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And make sure you take advantage of that free with IBKR link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.